glamour, its grandeur, acting power, stage. We are going to talk about performing for the web. Opportunities and challenges to hold forth. Would like to call on stage a person, intelligent and reverse, Priyanka Sinha Jha, Group Editor, Entertainment Network 18 Media and Investments Limited. Now the panelists, one by one, joined by very gorgeous Gauahar Khan. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for Gauahar Khan? Mr. Amol Parashar, very talented actor. Mr. Naveen Kasturia. Veer Rajwant Singh. Anupriya Goenka, and very talented, gorgeous Sayani Gupta. Sayani. Shayoni. I correct myself. It's Shayoni Gupta. Can we have one more chair, please, on the stage? Is it there? Everybody there? Great. Can we have a big round of applause for this wonderful panel? Over to you, Priyanka.
Thanks, Sumir. That was a lovely introduction to this wonderful, illustrious panel. Welcome, guys. Give them a big hand. They're here. They've been waiting patiently. And they've given us some wonderful content. So, guys, do you think this is really the gold rush? You know, because there's so much happening as far as web content is concerned. So many OTT platforms, so many different kinds of shows. Do you think the gold rush has started or it's ended? Who'd like to take that question? Gauahar? You're in my line of vision, so let's start with you.
मैं बहुत बोलती हूँ. That's the reason maybe I should have gone last, otherwise I can go on and on. But hi, yeah, I think gold rush कह लो, call it the lottery time, call it whatever, the jackpot, because there's so much to do, there's so much available out there. But then obviously there's always a catch to that there'll be so much quantity, and then sometimes quality can suffer in that. But I guess everyone sitting out here has done some fabulous work. There's such great opportunity for all the technicians out there, actors, producers, everyone who's got, you know, the will to put in not just creativity, but also the money to, you know, kind of push this in the right direction is out there in the market. And for us, it's a win-win right now because we get so much work to do and good work to do. But I guess, yes, that little filtration process is, lottery was lagne hi wali hai, and that's where you should just kind of put the brakes on. Yeah.
You should just stop at the right time.
Yeah.
Naveen, I want to ask you this. You're one of the pioneers, if one were to call it that, with, you know, I mean, as far as digital content is concerned.
मुझे एक्चुअली कहीं काम नहीं मिल रहा था तो इसलिए वेब पे हमने शुरू कर दिया और आज देखो हमारे पास क्या है
क्या है No, but truly speaking, I mean, you guys were one of the brave people with a lot of different kind of content, not just the short format, but fiction with stuff like pictures and all of that. How have you seen this evolution shape up? Has it met expectations, or like Gauahar said, that there's a lot of good, but you have to treat it with caution?
See, when we were shooting, Pictures was actually our first web show. We used to make small sketches and all. When we were shooting, we didn't know that it's going to, we didn't know that, you know, it's going to result in something like this. We just wanted to tell a story, and all of us didn't have any platform to do that. So we worked on it. But now, I think, and at that point, I think Netflix and Amazon, these players, these guys were also not there in India. So now I think it's, I mean, it's for everybody to see. It's prospering, and there's so many shows, there's so many, a lot of people are getting employment, you know, all the writers, directors, actors, everybody is getting a chance to work. So yeah, it's great that now we have a new medium to explore, and yeah, what I think.
So do you think the competition is tougher now? And like you guys can jump in, Amol and Veer, because, you know, I mean, there are actors from all walks of different mediums coming in. Earlier there were actors who were doing digital content, and like you said, that time Netflix and all had not come in. And it was a different ball game. It was a little more like rough and edgy. You could it was the creator's dream actually, right? But now everybody wants to be a part of that big thing, right? Is the competition tougher for you guys now?
I think the competition has always been there. Like even when digital was not there, the competition was there, right? With digital, it just when you roam around in Bombay, you just see so many posters, you see so many shows being made. It just you can like you feel better that अच्छा चल इसमें बन जाएगा इसमें नहीं तो इसमें बन जाएगा अरे ये भी चल रहा है वो भी चल रहा है like you see content everywhere. It's in the television. It's you go to the cinema, you have films, you have content phone में है, laptop में everywhere you have stories. So I think जितना ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा है हमारे लिए तो मतलब काम ही है.
Amol, what about you? Are you like as sort of noble and saying सबके लिए काम है, very good.
Hey,
But do you feel the
also
competition
because
is tougher?
like when Naveen was talking about pictures, and pictures was I think the second show. The first one was Permanent Roommates. That was a long format show that went famous, and then there was pictures, and yeah. So Sumit should also have been here probably, and he would have the most insights about. He's the first person to ever see stardom as an actor on the web, and then Naveen. So and then I did tripling. So I think what he was trying to say was at that point the purpose of doing a web series was not because we knew that this is going to become big and this is going to explode and this is going to make me famous. Although I kind of knew because I had seen them getting famous from pictures and Permanent Roommates. So मुझे था यार मैं इतना काम कर रहा हूँ theater, ads, films and उसने pictures करके famous हो गया वो. So I should also do a web series then. So I did my first web series and then for many people out there, for many young people I meet in life, they think tripling is my first work ever. I had been working for years before that in different mediums and I had done feature films and ads and stuff. But for many people, that was the first thing. And I also saw when you personally see the impact of it, you personally see the amount of love you get and the number of people who've seen you and who recognize you, who know your name, who know your personal history, who know your educational background, they've gone and so that is intense. You know, I had never experienced that ever as an actor. But we didn't know before we got into it कि ऐसा होगा. Now I think the more it happens, now people know, now people hear our stories, they know कि अच्छा ऐसा fame हो जाता है, अच्छा Instagram पे followers बढ़ जाते हैं, you know, and people get mobbed and all. But at that time we didn't know. So I think we were only lucky in that sense that we were without wanting to be, but kind of the first people through the door. So वो अच्छा है हमारे जो भी है वो अच्छा है. So at least we have to see it positively that it's only given us something. अगर हम लोग इसमें भी late हो जाते तो शायद अभी होते अरे अभी वेब सीरीज भी नहीं मिल रही है.
We missed that bus also.
So yeah, so it's a and the kind of profession we are in, luck does play a part. The kind of things that happen to you is very important because actors don't make things come to them and then they have to choose. So the most you can do is choose. So I chose to do a web show. He chose to do a web show at that time because we wanted to be a part of certain kinds of stories which were not available otherwise to us. Right. If I was already doing a certain kind of film, so मैं satisfied होता तो मैं शायद web show नहीं करता. But I wasn't, and now I got that satisfaction, and now more options have opened for us. So I think it's good only.
All good.
Yeah, you have to feel good about what's been given to you by the medium.
So the next question to the two lovely ladies, and actually Gauahar, you also include in this because all three of you have dabbled in different kinds of content on different platforms, movies, television, and of course web series and web content. Is there any difference in the creative process, in the way that you perform? That's one part of it. And the second part of it is that, is this now like a show reel or a springboard for all actors to bigger things?
I wouldn't call it a show reel or a springboard. I don't think anyone sitting here looks at it that way. We are all just here to do good work, you know, do stories, be a part of content that we've always related to, we set out to do. Thankfully, certain like a TV medium was not available to us because the kind of work we wanted to do wasn't there. Web opens up that genre. Like now we don't have to be only part of movies or only part of independent cinema. There is very exciting work happening in web space. And for us, everyone sitting here, I think I can speak on behalf of everyone here, that we've never looked at any role as a springboard to something, be it theater, be it being part of web, being part of any film. It's always been for that particular content, for that particular team of people working on that content that you wanted to collaborate and be, tell that story. What was your question apart from that?
My question was, is it a springboard? That's one part of it. And is there any difference in the creative process when it comes to digital content?
I wouldn't say so. Personally, in my opinion,
all the kind of shows that I've been part of, in my experience, have been mounted well. They've been helmed by film teams, film crews. So their sensibilities are very similar. Also, having said that, the only difference that I personally can feel is that because it's a longer format, you have 10 hours to tell a story vis-a-vis a 2 hours. And also, I have personally been part of films which are being held by bigger actors, A-listers and all. So obviously my role that way becomes slightly lesser, or we have to scrunch for
Like
time.
a Padmavat or something where your screen time
So
is
as an
squeezed.
actor, sometimes you're not sure as to what would come out of the edit table. Like you're always in that whole space that okay, अच्छा है, hopefully बहुत अच्छा हो जाए, लेकिन pray करते रहो, जब तक आएगा तब देखा जाएगा क्या निकलता है. वेब में थोड़ा बहुत पता है कि इससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं जा सकता, ये तो रहेगा, क्योंकि आपका रोल इतना इम्पोर्टेंट है शायद कि आप स्टोरी को ड्राइव कर रहे हो. थैंकफुली हरदम वही तरह की स्टोरीज़ करनी चाहिए जहाँ आप स्टोरीज़ को ड्राइव कर रहे हो, लेकिन बिकॉज आपके पास 2-2.5 घंटे का एक क्रंच होता है, उसमें आपको काफ़ी चीज़ें देखनी पड़ती हैं, परम्यूटेशंस कॉम्बिनेशंस होते हैं, बिगर एक्टर्स होते हैं who also are the driving force behind people coming to the cinemas to watch them, so they have to be given their due. Then actors like me sometimes used to suffer because we were always scrambling for space and for roles that really showed us, we could show our talent through. Web gives us that opportunity more easily. Yeah, I think I should.
Sayani, you wanted to comment?
It's Sayani, and it's
Sorry,
time you all
Sayani.
know my name is Sayani. Sorry, but
Just repeat that again. Shayoni.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Shayoni.
I actually absolutely agree with what Anupriya said, that obviously as actors you don't go to sets thinking मैं आज थोड़ा कम acting करूँगी क्योंकि ये short film है. So
No, it's not about come acting. It's like, when you act in theatre, it's different from the way you act in movies because each medium has its own demand.
but
so it's not about come or
no,
zyada.
but when it comes to film acting or when you're on screen and there's a camera which is shooting you, nothing really changes in terms of your performance or your approach or your process or whatever it is. Like, you need lights and, cutters and all of that. And because the process doesn't change, whether it's a web show or a short film or a feature film. The only thing is that it's a longer format. So you obviously have a little more time to explore various characters and see the graph of each character as opposed to maybe in a feature film where you're probably, focusing on one or two people who you call leads. And this whole concept of leads in a web show sort of blurs out a little bit because you have more characters who are all part of the primary cast, and these are characters who are equally important. Also enough, she was talking about screen time. And a lot of times, when actors like us are in films that are led by stars, so to say, the focus is on the protagonist, and vis-a-vis, obviously the stars, but, and you're obviously thinking that, oh, itna role hai, 6 scene hai, par shayad 4 hi bachenge, and, or maybe, it's your line, but the close-up is on the star, those kind of things. So a lot of things change when it's driven by the monies, which is just based on the box office opening, where you have to get your Friday numbers or your weekend numbers, which is what is not really there for a web show, because it's there for eternity almost, and one could watch the show even 3 months, from the time of its release.
Greater shelf life.
Exactly, it's a longer shelf life, but as actors, all you're trying to do is do a good job of what you've been given and, get to a moment of truth. That's the idea. How much you're able to, that only depends on, it's a good day or a bad day, and the team. But, I don't think you should actually think of it as a springboard, because you don't really, as actors, you come and you want to have a career which is, in a way, makes you proud, and your intention is to do good work, which will bring more good work. So the focus is actually to make everybody's time worthwhile, somebody who's hiring you and your own times. And, have fun through the course of your journey. And it's funny because Amol talked about permanent roommates. They came to me when they were making it, and I have dates. So, because I was going for fans. So, to London. And after it became such a big hit, I was like, oh my God, like little did I think that it's going to become so massive. And it's great because I think with this explosion, what's happened is, you know, when you're talking about competition, there is enough work for everyone to do. And if at this point you're not getting work, then I think you need to introspect that maybe you're not doing something right. Because, and I'm not saying that from a place of pomposity, but there is that much work. Everyone is making content. Good, bad, whatever it is, you know, but there is enough work. We were shooting for Inside Edge last year, and it's a nightmare to get dates of actors on Inside Edge because there are so many actors. And one day, they got all actor dates. There was no carpenter. There was not a single carpenter free in Bombay. So the shoot didn't happen. They had to cancel our dates because there were no carpenters available. So even your daily labors.
It's a great leveler.
It's a great time
could
for
have
everyone.
Actors have
मेरे को आता है थोड़ा सा.
to, you know, wait for the carpenter.
Next time I'll call Amol.
Also, I think the kind of production that's happening on the web, I don't know why people are thinking of web to be this constrained kind of a zone where, no, like, I mean, not that you asked that, but I'm saying it's not just stepping. When I used to be a model, people used to say, "Acha, aap model ho, to kya aapko acting karni hai?" So people thought that was a stepping stone, you know, like you want to go to the next level. But this is the next level, the kind of production that's happening in the web. I'll give you an example. When I did Side Hero, it was the show that I signed after Office. And there were hoardings all over, and it was right after Sacred Games had this explosion, the season 1 I'm talking about. And then Side Hero was like, you know, all over Mumbai city, and I'm like, seriously? Itne bade hoardings? Side Hero ke itne bade hoardings, and that for the longest time. The Office has been 2 months now that it has released, and The Office is all over the place even now. Like I see it on all the cabs and everything, their buses. So there is that kind of a push for web shows, and
We should interrupt one sec.
Priyanka.
Just to interrupt
We shouldn't
this whole thing.
undermine.
My question was also, you know, I felt that the digital platforms and digital content introduced us to a very interesting matrix of actor who was also the writer, who was also the producer. Now that's a combination we don't see in movies. Maybe now producers, yes. A couple of them directors, but not writers. That's a rare breed, you know. And I thought that was so wonderful because you're actually thinking through your content, and it brought so much of granularity to the writing, to the stories that, you know, like web content was showcasing. And to that extent, Naveen, or any of you guys, Amol, Veer, do you have
You
anything
mean
to add
one
to
person who's doing all of this? Is that what you're saying?
it? Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people who were writing were also acting, you know,
In the same thing.
in the same thing.
I've done that in
Yeah,
one show.
exactly. So that's my point, that was great from a creative point of view, which was something new that we saw through web content.
I don't think if everybody wants that though.
Yeah.
Because
No, I think
because
once
it
you
depends
become-
on the
once you
it
start
depends on the team you're
acting,
working
no,
with. Because if the
it's very
director says कि ये क्यों ज़्यादा क्यों बोल रहा है तू अपना काम कर. I mean, it depends on the person you're working with. So when I wrote because the director, it was
No, but
basically
you know,
a show
to the
with two
question,
actors.
you know, to one thing that I always hear actors say, that, you know, we don't choose our roles, we pick from what comes to us, right?
Correct.
Here you can write your roles, and you can produce content which suits you.
But
and
that
go
you can
ahead
do
and
for films
publish it as
also.
well, right?
But
Isn't
that you
that
can-
very empowering as actors yourselves?
I think basically what you're trying to say is that now we have more thinking actors. Is that
You
they
have-
can also
No, I
think,
think
they can also create, they
You
can
probably
also
we
have
are in
more
a position-
control.
Yeah.
You have more control
See,
over
that
the-
option is
your
always there,
destiny.
but still, I don't think there are a lot of people who are doing that. You know,
कौन सा?
we're still dependent on people who write
No, I
scripts
think
for
it-
us. I remember, you know, after Pictures, I didn't have work for the longest time. Like I was waiting for good scripts to come to me, and I would tell people that, you know, and people would often tell me to write my own script because I was also writing before I became an actor.
Exactly.
But then I mean,
tough.
it's the most difficult thing to do. It's the most tedious thing to do.
Soul
you know?
sucking.
Writing is I mean, all of us are lucky that we've got good paths, and, you know, we owe our whatever. I mean, I at least owe my career to be someone like Visupati Sarkar who wrote Pictures and all. So I think writing is, it's
It's not glamorous
as
enough.
Amol
for
rightly
the
said,
hard work
given an
that
option,
happens.
not
I
that
would,
it is.
we would like
about
to
it,
It
that
requires-
चलो लिखना चाहिए अपने लिए खुद के लिए कुछ लिखना चाहिए, and then you can do it. It's
It's a-
also it takes so much time to actually. It's a different skill, I think. It's not something that you want it and then you can achieve it.
You have
It's
to
something
work
that
for
you
it.
have-
Are you saying
Just
we
like
can
you have to work
create
on
stuff
acting.
for
All
All
acting
ourselves?
work
is
has to
not
be
very
very different.
That we can create stuff for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, Kangana, she did a script writing course and she wrote, I mean, she contributed to a Queen in terms of dialogues and things like that, but that was not only for herself. That was, I'm just saying that, you know, you can also shape the story that you're telling in a more creative way. If, and that's
And we can be
something
more
that's very
involved,
powerful.
but that comes from a position of power, I think. So there were some people in the films who were doing that, who would pick their scripts, then go to a producer or a director, say, I want to do this script, do this with me. And right now, probably I can do that on the web. And I am slyly doing that. I am writing some stories. I don't have the time to write it, but I would probably think of an idea, go to a producer and say, I want to do this show, do you want to do this show with me? And probably they just don't want to do a show with you. And this happened because people called me. And I went into a meeting where they said ki small talk happened, then how normally happens, small talk ke baad point pe aate hain. They never came to the point. So after 2 hours, they said, let's do something. I said, what? What do you want to do? They said, aap bolo, what do you want to do? And this was 2 years back. This is even slightly before the explosion. And I was like, wait, there are so many platforms and there probably an email saying we need to make 30 shows in 6 months. Where do you get 30 stories from? So when the platforms are like, अरे एक Amol के साथ करते हैं, Amol से ही पूछ लो उसको क्या करना है. So I had to go back and probably think यार ये शायद और होगा, and हुआ. So I went back and took out all my writer folder and said क्या क्या पढ़ा है देखते हैं मेरे पास, or just started talking to my writer friends कि यार कुछ हो तो बताओ, कुछ हो तो बताओ. Because it is definitely more interesting. Because if I already like it, it's good for everyone. Because otherwise they'll have to write it, then come to me, then I might like it, I might say इसमें ये change कर दो. Right now they're saying let's make this show. They're going by my conviction that I like the story, let's do it. And if they want to put the money, they'll put the money.
Now with the big streaming platforms coming in, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, how has that changed the game?
Honestly, I hadn't done, say, for example, Permanent Roommates or any other web show because I wasn't really sure of the quality. I'm being very honest. I wasn't sure of who will make it, first of all, and whether or not I will be excited to collaborate in that space. That's when Amazon came and Inside Edge happened, which was their first show. And, you know, because Excel was backing it, and I had already had a relationship with Excel and I had worked with them, and Karan and Guru, who I knew from before, I had seen their work, I sort of had that trust that whatever they make will be worthwhile, you know, and I came from that space. Obviously, later I saw Permanent Roommates, which I enjoyed very much, you know. And I think it makes a little bit of difference because when people like Netflix and Amazon, they're coming in hiring filmmakers or people who have a legitimate name or, you know, who have a background and a, you know, and they have already, they're sort of used to running a set and they've already made films of a certain scale. All of that sort of makes a difference just in terms of how one runs the set, you know. That obviously doesn't talk about the merit as a director, and that only comes from whether or not, you know, you are a good director or not, and what is the talent you have. But it definitely gave me, I mean, I can only talk about myself, gave me that sort of confidence in whether I should do this or not, and that's how Inside Edge happened, and then obviously later 4 More Shots. But you know, the main thing is that there's so much that an actor sort of can explore in terms of characters. Like, it's only thanks to the web, Pankaj Tripathi is sort of, you know, shining and everyone's like, oh my God, what an actor. He was always, oh my God, what an actor. But it only took a, you know, for the digital medium to sort of bring him to the limelight and be like, you know, this is a, you know, then everyone
in really prominent roles.
Yeah, and you know, your faces are going in hoardings. Like Gauahar was saying, like a few months ago, I was driving from, you know, towards town, and this whole thing, you know, all the hoardings were web shows. There was not a single web film hoarding. So obviously, with your P&A and visibility, which is what an actor also needs, you know, an actor who's probably been waiting for years to sort of be seen, it gives you that impetus and it gives you that platform, which is amazing. You don't really need to be a star, so to say. You can just be in a show which is a popular show, and you'd be in a hoarding and people will get to know you.
With stars coming onto the platform and web content, how is that shaping
you mean
up?
I think stars, you know, your question about
यहाँ पे भी stars हैं बहुत सारे. You mean film stars?
Film stars.
Film stars.
Sorry, I
your
stand
question
corrected.
about the springboard may be also relevant the other way around.
So they are using films as a springboard to come to the web. Yeah, that's what they're doing कि हम film कर लेते हैं उससे हमें web series में काम मिलेगा. Probably.
what does that mean for actors who started out on digital? Is there, sort of less scope now?
No,
than
I
when
always
you
feel
started
that
out?
they are leaving space in the films, if at all. Films, I don't think the number of films is getting reduced. So if they're not doing a film, somebody else needs to do that film. So if they come here, they leave space
Is that
there.
happening? On
I mean,
like,
there is at least right now. I don't know what will happen 4 years down, but right now there is the line is slightly blurred, at least between the web and films. I don't know how the TV people feel about that, so I mean, web actors are being looked at as potential film people if they haven't done films already, and film people are open to doing web stuff. So right now there is nobody's judging. Nobody's slotting you, trying to slot you. The system is not trying to slot you right now. Probably, I don't know what will happen 4 years
so
down.
it's interesting, no, that actors who are performing on, who are doing digital content are considered more cool than TV actors.
More what?
More cool than TV actors.
Cool in what sense?
Just cool,
Well,
like,
it
I
depends.
think
Dep-
that's
depends
primarily
on the
because of the
person, I think.
content. The TV content, unfortunately, has been outdated for a very, very long time. The clothes, the whole deck-up, they are set in a
What are you guys
time of
talking
the past. Like, they're not given the opportunity to really outshine. I've met some TV actors, I perform with them once in a while, and they astonished me because I saw their work on television later and I felt that this is not the same person I acted with. And I went on to congratulate that person that despite of 14 years of TV, you've not let your actor go, which is quite hard to do with the kind of redundant stuff that is being made on television today. And for a very long time. So the only reason why a web actor perhaps looks cooler to anyone is because the content given to us is far superior as compared to the TV content.
And it's perception,
Paul, would you agree?
unfortunately.
What has
I
been your
think-
experience?
Sorry. I think TV actors are also very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not.
Perception.
Let's. I hate categorizing and I hate putting people into nutshells because I feel like that's all we're fighting from day one. At least I am. I think. Yes, Sayani is side hero. That was the whole show about, in fact, the show that we did. That how we love putting people into categories. And as actors, our constant fight is that. At least mine is. I don't think, let me give all due credit to the TV industry out there, okay? That is the biggest thing that is there in India forever, for the longest time. And yes, there are shows that you might agree with and not agree with. That doesn't take away from the actors because they still go to that 12-hour shift and do those three-way turns that
The
you might,
hardest to do.
not look up on, but that's acting as well. And I hate categorizing, and I just feel like we're all out there to do great work. There's
We all are cool.
great
Everybody's cool.
And
Okay?
people should
Everybody-
know
Naveen, you said you're going to give us
people
some
should know
spice
that-
things up and take a few pangas. So I'm looking at you
No,
with
no, I was
hope
saying that people should know that Game of Thrones is a TV show.
Yeah.
So, but as Anupriya rightly said, it's
She's
about,
talking
it's
about
about
the
the
Indian,
content.
yeah,
It's
the
about
concept of Indian television is very warped right now because people say, "Nee, television actress hai." But then that's what
I
you're
think
fighting
it's just
for.
it's become very predictable and it's gone.
Whatever format, the truth is he or she is an actor. And irrespective of the medium, you cannot take away the hard work and the discipline and the talent and the merit that goes into being whatever that is, You can't.
And right now, all the big films are being done by actors who've actually come from television and then, gone into the films. So let's just say this. The film industry is the film industry. The web world is the web world. The TV world is the TV world. Actors are actors. We're just going to do our great job no matter what medium we're in. And we're going to rock it, yeah.
And honestly, I really want to say this, that the whole high-handedness or this whole demarcation of films and TV and web, it doesn't matter. You are trying to entertain people, you're trying to create content, you're not saving people's lives, okay? So here we have to sort of take a step back and say that we are here to do our job. Whatever is paying your bills and making you happy, you're okay to do it, and whatever the
I think
audience wants
it's
to
great.
see.
Some of that democratization has come also because of digital. Because for the longest time, I know of a lot of budding, fledgling actors who would say, I don't want to go for TV stuff because then I'll get branded and I'll not get like the big work and stuff like that.
But that
you know.
doesn't hold true
That's
anymore.
changing, and that's great. And
It's
I
also
think
the treatment, no? Like if you want to be a part of, if you watch television, you would want to be part of television industry. If you watch web shows, you would want to be a part of web shows. It's a very personal thing. At the end of the day, like she said, you get up in the morning, you just face the camera and then you act. कैमरा बड़ा छोटा हो सकता है, वेब शो है छोटा कैमरा होगा, फिल्म में बड़ा कैमरा होगा, but you're not going to change your acting for that. You're just going to do the same thing that you do. So it doesn't change anything for actors.
मेजर फर्क ये भी है कि वेब और टीवी में एक्टर्स का चॉइस ये भी होता है कि आप एक प्रोजेक्ट को you don't want to commit to a project for 6 months or a year. For web, they're looking for smaller projects. I mean, duration-wise, so that is also a reason when
that
people
takes
say
more courage. I think.
क्या?
Person like me is afraid of committing with commitment phobia. Committing 1 year or at least. And that's the first condition. 1 साल तो at least जाएगा. उसके बाद show चल गया तो 10 साल भी जा सकते हैं.
Yeah, that used to be a big constraint earlier. Before web came in, you wanted to act every day. As actors, you used to not get a chance to act. You were only auditioning, acting maybe once or twice or 3 days in a month, and it used to really be very lucrative to sign something up and know that you'll be acting every day on a set for 6 months or 1 year. But to sign up for a role like that, to be that committed, is another kind of discipline that one needs. That's another kind of guts, disciplines, and also conviction in oneself. That yes, I can be very honest to this part for the whole of next 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever it might take. Every actor is built differently. So now with the web, that has really helped certain actors like me personally, or many people here, that the commitment is maybe of 3 months or 6 months. It's more finite in nature, and hence you know that you can move on to doing other things, and there'll be variety of things that you could be doing in that amount of time.
Sometimes a week for the whole show.
Sorry?
Sometimes a week for the whole show.
So there's both short-term and long-term commitment. Let's open it up to the audience, because I'm sure there are lots of questions that people want to ask you. So
When are we starting the next?
So any questions for our panelists here? The gentleman in blue.
Hi, my name is Iqbal. I'm from IQ Communications. My question to Gauahar ma'am. Recently, you might be heard that a few celebrities, A-lister, they have denied working as an actor in a web series. So, as they have perception that कि उनकी जो audience है from cinemas to web में आ जाएगा, they might lose their audience. So, what's your take on that? Because you are also coming from your Bollywood industry, then working in.
Yeah, I think they are making a mistake because look at the kind of shows that we're producing and the kind of budgets, the quality of actors, the performances. People are, and I think, I mean, not saying specifically about the film industry, there was a time where people said, "Arey, television pe kaam nahi karna chahiye." And as soon as the great Amitabh Bachchan sir was, hosting Kaun Banega Crorepati for so many years, and everybody, and all those things changed, and then everyone's mingling everywhere. And I think, अगर ऐसे कुछ लोग सोच रहे हैं, तो वो उनकी पर्सनल थिंकिंग है, उनके पर्सनल चॉइसेस है. लाइक अगर आप मुझे पूछोगे इस वक्त मैं टेलीविज़न पे एक्टिंग करना चाहूँगी, तो मैं 2 बार सोचूंगी कि शायद मुझे जिस तरीके के शो मैं कर रही हूँ, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग दैट, या that's a personal choice. But to say that that's a blanket feeling, I disagree with that, because look at Diya Mirza. She's just done a wonderful project on Z5, and everybody is doing great work on the web. So I think जो सोच रहे हैं वो definitely change कर लेंगे अपना दिमाग.
Thank you.
गौहर जी, इधर इस साइड.
हाँ जी. Sorry.
हाँ, मेरा प्रश्न आपसे है.
अच्छा, मुझसे ही है.
Okay. जैसे फिल्म को कहा जाता है बिग स्क्रीन इज बिगर देन लाइफ, और टीवी सीरियल को कहा जाता है स्मॉल स्क्रीन इज स्मॉलर देन लाइफ. वेब सीरीज को किस कैटेगरी में रखेंगे?
टीवी को क्या कहा जाता है? सॉरी, मैंने लाइन.
स्मॉल स्क्रीन इज स्मॉलर देन लाइफ.
स्मॉलर देन लाइफ.
हाँ.
मैं कहूंगी कि वेब इज लाइफ, क्योंकि लाइफ में बिग एंड स्मॉल दोनों ही आते हैं. सो आई वुड से वेब इज लाइफ.
So as she rightly summed it up, size does not matter, and unfortunately, time's up. So we're going to wrap this up, but you can speak to the panelists whenever you want.
Great. Can we have a big round of applause this wonderful panel? And can I please have Ashish Banka to come on the stage and give them the mementos, please? I cannot leave this panel without a selfie. Huge fan for everybody. Amol, Sayani, everybody. Can I have a selfie with you all, please? Can I fit all? Gauahar. Yeah. Oops. Thank you so much, and a big round of applause for them.